He looked upset most of the time. You would think that it's your fault. You would be afraid to say something silly in front of him, but that was just his nature. These are my earliest impressions of my grandfather. As his first grandson, I knew that I had a special place in his heart. He was very proud of me. Whenever I heard that my grandpa and grandma were coming to visit us, I would get very excited, start running around, and get ready for their arrival. Once they arrived, I would give them 10-15 minutes to catch their breath, and then I would go to Grandpa and say, Grandpa, can we make paper airplanes now? He would never refuse or shove me. Then we would move to the dining table, start making airplanes from the papers I prepared before. The styles would get complicated, more complicated and more complicated all the time. I would wonder to myself, am I going to be able to copy him this time? Not to worry though. Whenever I made a mistake, whenever I was confused, he would come to me very patiently. He would help me make it right. Whenever I did it right, without his help, I would look up and catch him looking at me with a grin in his face, very vague, but still, with glowing eyes, hinting me that he loves me and he's very proud of me. We would play for hours. We would make planes more complicated, with more designs, correcting the flaws with each one and perfecting the design. We would spend hours together. It was the best of time. I often thought that he was my best playmate because no other adult would ever play with me. So he was very special for me. I also thought that he was reliving his childhood that he never had. Because after all, from the stories I listened to him told us, he had a very rough childhood. All the wars, all the battles, how he became an orphan, how he had to work at a very early age. He didn't have much of a childhood, so he was being a child with me, but outside he was a stern man. He wouldn't talk much. After a while, Grandma and Grandpa didn't come to visit us anymore. He would go there more often because Grandpa wasn't feeling very well. Whenever we went there, I wanted to make airplanes, but we couldn't because Grandpa was in the bed all the time. But I knew in my heart that he was going to regain his strength very soon, and we would be making airplanes again. I never forget that night. A friend of my dad from school was visiting his wife. Everything was normal. Then the phone started ringing. It was someone on the phone telling my mom that Grandpa took a turn for the worse. My mom and dad left immediately, leaving us with that friend of theirs to look after us at home. The very next morning, Dad came back to bring me and my sister to the town my grandpa lived. On the way, we asked him what happened. All he said was that Grandpa passed away. When I got to the house, I saw a lot of people. People were sad. People were crying and weeping. The air in the house was very heavy. Grandpa was the first person to die in my family, so I didn't know how to feel. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't. Instead, I had this knot in my throat. I was looking around, I saw my grandma crying. She was hysterical. I felt for her, but I couldn't cry. So I started walking around in the house, from room to room, to the backyard, back inside. With every corner I took, with every door I opened, I expected Grandpa to appear before me and say, "What's going on? Who are all those people?" I walked and walked and walked. He didn't show up that day. It's been 22 years and 16 days since he passed. I don't remember his face anymore. It's very vague. I don't remember the different styles of airplanes we made together. They escaped me also. That day, the day he died, I didn't only lose my grandpa, but I also lost my playmate. That day was the day all my paper planes flew away. Thank you.